What are we looking like on TikTok live monitor? Okay. Whoa. All right. Let's see where we're at on the other ones. So I'm on TikTok. Okay, showing on TikTok. So we're good on TikTok. Let's see where we're at on TikTok. What it do, my peoples, my peoples? What it do? How's everybody going on out there? What it do, my peoples, my. Let's see, how do I mute this thing? There you go. Yeah, we're all locked in, man. Okay. So, that's my guy. How's everybody doing, man? I go by the name of the trucking insurance expert. This is trucking questions Q and A's. Trucking insurance question Q and A's. Um, haven't been on here quite a while, so you guys get to peep me here and there. I'm currently live on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're all in one, man. So you guys got any questions? Ask them right here in the chat. And we're gonna make this a smooth live, man. We're gonna have a good, discussion Q and A. I got some good questions for you guys out there. I got some good ideas. I got some good thoughts. Um, a lot of guys been coming to me and asking me about the current state of the market. So they're like, "Oh man, what's the current state of the market?" I'm actually gonna let more people get in live. I'm gonna answer because I'm on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're live on all of those ones. So, how's everybody doing? We get more people in live. Get more people in live. For sure, man. How you guys doing? TikTok is cool. Instagram cool. All right, all right. How's everybody there doing, man? As always, I tell everybody who gets on here, man, ask me any, trucking insurance questions while I'm on here. I'm on here to, educate people, to help people out. Yeah, I'm on here to educate people, to help people out, man. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Tuesday? But man, I don't, I come on here just with a thought process, right? I come on here and we do these lives and I talk to people and I share my thoughts. And a lot of times, it's just me talking to drivers and stuff, talking about the current market. So, I got a lot of close friends of mine who's in the market and they're packing up, they're getting out of Dodge. I got a lot of friends who are coming to me who's no longer trucking anymore, and they're getting ready. They're questioning. They're like, "Hey, man, thinking about going leasing on. Should I actually, give up my MC? Should I actually give up my DOT number?" And for me, it's honestly hard to say. It's hard to say, man. But I feel like the value in this all, like if you're out here and you got your own DOT, you got your own truck, you got your own trailer, a lot of people put the value in their equipment. They put the value in their actual trailers, what they haul. I move hazmat or I move, you know, containerized freight. I do this, I do that, but I don't feel like that's where value lies. I don't. I don't, man. I feel like the value lies in your DOT number. That's 100% what I feel. I feel like the value lies within your DOT number because you got to think. A lot of you guys come to me and you say, "Hey, man, should I get out?" I'm like, just hold on, stay on a little bit longer, because once this market meets the demand minus the people that's in it, all that's contributory. Once those things meet up, you're going to be in a space where your DOT is extremely valuable. Your DOT has a stated value. That's what you're going to be in a space that does that, man. You're going to be in a space where you got a DOT number. You've been in a business for like 2 years, 3 years, and then all of a sudden the market takes off, and then you go profit. But the question ain't, when that happens. If you're going to be in the market when that takes off, right? And the only people who think like that are just people who are in it for the long haul. I mean, it's just an honest question. Like, are you in it for the long haul? Because when if you've been in the business 3 years and you fought through a lot, 2 years you fought through a lot. Like, do you honestly want to get out right before it gets good? Right before, do you want to get out right before it gets good? Do you want to stick it out? Do you want to gain the profit from being up through all the tribulations? And a lot of times, dude, I think that's just fucking life. I think that's just life. Like, whether that's in sports, whether that's in music, whether that's in career and business, it's all about, do you want to stick it out to succeed, right? Like I think that's a big mindset thing. So I mean, I don't know, man. If it's a value to you, you're gonna stick it out. It's just a personal thing. So if it's a value of yours, you're gonna stick it out. Because I ain't gonna lie, like when I was in that truck, bro, it wasn't so much for me. It was being in the truck. It was much so for me, making it make sense being in the truck. Because I'm willing to sacrifice, but it had to make sense in the long term vision, right? It had to make sense in the long term vision. I mean, that's just how I lay it out, man. I feel like most people, my neck is a little stiff. I feel like most people, they're short sighted, right? So they come on here and they're like, oh man, it's gonna do this, gonna do that. The market's gonna be this, and I just have fair conversations with people. I just come on here and talk and tell people my opinions, and itch my way in the social media world. Shouts out to TikTok. Shouts out to Roman on there. What's going on, Roman, on TikTok? But the absolute goal of this isn't to, you know, it's to inform people, but it's also to make sure people have the knowledge to make an informed decision, right? That's what it's about. That's what it's about, man. Let's see. Shouts out to Roman out there, man. What's going on, Roman? Ask me a trucking insurance question, bro. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, IG. I'm on another platform too. I think it's Twitch or Kick, one of the two. I don't want to say the wrong one. I'm new to the streaming thing, so. All right. Let me see. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna clip some of these videos up. So I'm gonna answer some of the questions. All right. So here are the top 4 things you're gonna need to get an adequate insurance quote, bro. When you doing insurance, I'm gonna tell you the top 4 things that you need to get a good insurance quote. Here's how to get a good insurance quote. Here are my top whatever list that you're gonna need. First thing first, you're gonna need last 5 years of lost runs that are 30 days new. Okay, your lost runs have to be new. They got to be 30 days new. Meaning you got them in the last 30 days, right? Meaning that you potentially got them recently and that, they're fresh. Why does that matter, man? I got these 6 months ago. I ain't have an accident. No, that's not necessarily true. So insurance companies have up to 2 years for certain kind of policies to charge your loss runs. So let's say you had a fender bender for a certain kind of policy, right? And you had a fender bender where somebody got scrubbed and roughed, and the person who got scrubbed and roughed didn't file it for a year and 8 months. They can go then file that on your insurance that much later and do a claim. So that's why you need updated, clean, new loss runs. That's the first thing. Second thing I believe you need, I know guys need MVRs. You guys need recent MVRs. Your own. You need your own MVR saying, hey, I ain't got nothing. I didn't hit nothing. I ain't wrecked nothing. If you got recent ones, that goes a incredibly long way because, first of all, you're supposed to have them for your driver qualification files. That's a whole other story. It's a whole other story. You're supposed to have them regardless. But if you got them and you come to me, that exponentially speed up your quote. If expeditiously. All right. So number three thing, loss runs, MVRs, IFTAs. Have your IFTAs. Have your last 4 quarters of IFTAs. Gotta have that because people are coming to me like, I need a quote, bro. I need a quote, and you need it quick. But certain markets like to see your if the patterns to grade your policy adequately. And I find those be the better markets. I found those markets to give the best quotes. All right. So we got IFTAs, we got MVRs, we got loss runs. What else? One more thing. IFTAs, loss runs, MVRs. I would love your driver license too. Right? I would want to see a picture of your if you have an old driver license, that's cool too. I'm gonna give you an example. Why are your old driver license good to have, and why should you take a picture of your driver license? Great example. I have a guy I was quoting out of Texas. Quoting him out of Texas. When you renew your licenses in Texas, it a lot of times doesn't show the it doesn't show your issue date. So it may look on paper like you got a new license. I don't know why Texas do that. So you need a picture of your old license. You need to always take a picture and keep it for years. Like, because, pictures are forever. So keep a picture of your old license. Like, MVRs, licenses. All right, cool. What else? We got IFTAs. We got MVRs. We got pictures of your driver license. We got lost runs last 5 years and they're less than 30 days. All these things are a great combination for a great quote. What else? Let me give you guys another thing that it would be great for a great quote. We got MVRs, we got loss runs. I would love a document of your recent drivers or you. If it's just you, that's cool. I can just get you one MVR. But if you got a list to say, hey, I got this dude, this dude, this dude, this girl all hired, it would be great because in its uniform, it has their hiring date, how long they've been driving, if they have any violations, if it's all laid out for me clean, that can expeditiously speed up your quote. So we got lost runs, we got a good application for who you got. We got your IFTAs, we got driver's licenses. We got pretty much everything we need for a good, solid quote, right? And I always tell people, always just get one guy to quote you. I know a lot of people out there get anxious for quotes, and because they get anxious for quotes, they let everybody quote them. And what had happened is that they block the market from people like me. But I can get access to the market sometimes, but some markets play different, so they don't allow you to access to them. It's a thing. It's a thing. But yeah, man. I mean, those are a combination, for a solid knockdown quote. Obviously, you want to be attentive, you want to be patient. Some of these markets take like 72 hours to get some feedback. It depends on who you guys are quoting through. You feel me? Like sometimes it take that long to get a quote back, but I mean, most of the time it don't. And you'll get somebody like me who has obsessively strong markets. Like I got strong markets in Texas. I got a couple strong, solid markets in Texas. They're really solid. I mean, they're domiciled in Texas and they're very competitive with people in Texas. I got some good programs in Georgia. I live in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee. If you got CDL9, CDL box trucks, I got some quotes right now. I'm doing everybody's package. They're new people, and their policies 1,300 after everything for a new guy. I'm not gonna reveal my markets, but I got some really good markets, right? But like I said in previous videos, when you go get an insurance guy, you might get an insurance guy who does, you know, I don't know, he does business insurance. He does all these combinations of different kind of insurance, and he can't be obsessive on one market. But that's just not the truth with me. Like I can be obsessive on my individual market. Like I got plenty different markets that we can go through. You know, um, and when you deal with someone who has a widened market, he can filter your quotes to be I don't, he can be objective. He can when you see the market, you can be like, oh man, I can go here for a quote, I can go there for a quote, I can go there for a quote. So man, it just all depends, man. It just all depends. Cause I'm not just a trucker, bro. Like, I'm not just a trucking insurance agent. I started being a trucker. For sure. That's why I started at, bro. That's why I started at. I started out trucking. So my base and when we have conversations be on some trucking stuff. That's what I talk about. And I wasn't like I was a trucker. I had a fleet. Had a fleet of trucks. I ran my fleet of trucks. People ask me about that all the time. So I got a client. Um, he always talk about my glory days. He like, boy, you used to really get him out there. Boy, you used to hit him on the head. I'm like, you fucking right. I was taking brokers through. I was taking them through there. I wasn't trying to do no cheap loads. Ew. Who doing cheap loads out here? And I get it. Like, and cheap isn't cheap to everybody. Like, what's going on? Rarity on TikTok and Chambers on TikTok. Drop some questions in the chat. Cheap is different to everybody, right? So cheap for me was I wasn't gonna do a load that didn't make sense to my truck to a piece of broker. I've never been into that. Never been into that, bro. I've always been a person who got the most from my unit. I don't understand the idea of having a trucking company and not getting the most for your money. Yeah, man. I'm working with the. I know it's a little bright sound, but I got my screen different. My setup different. So yeah, I've been working on OBS. I've been doing some stuff. I got some stuff coming. So we got to get you on this live one day, Sam. No, Sam, I didn't know renting your MCE was out of thing. You talking about leasing on people? I think you're talking about leasing on people. But I did lease on people at one point. I leased on a couple guys. One of the I don't want to talk about. It wasn't a good experience. It really wasn't. When I leased on these couple guys, man, they were always complaining to me about money. They were always, and I had their percentages down pretty good, and they came to me. They came to me asking. They were like, "Hey, man, I need to lease your company," and I let them do it. My wife, they invited me to a cookout. They sat me down. I didn't really want to go. One of my partners, Slick, invited me over there. But it can be sweet because if you lease people on and they're committed to the cause, and you have an established MC, or you gonna get and they got to be hustlers. It's a lot of ifs. It's a lot of ifs in this. They got to be this. They got to be that. They got to be this. They got to be that. Because you get one person making a wrong move on your MC, now you got a claim, and that claim can put you out of business. You got one person who leads to your MC, and they let their partner drive, and their partner have a claim. And what if he them weirdos in Florida who doing U-turns? You feel me? If he one of them weirdos, if because people lease people on all the time, and we don't know who their passenger is. We don't know who they in their truck. I personally was leased onto a carrier, and I had my whole family in the truck. My wife didn't drive or nothing though. I had my wife, I had my kids in the truck with me, bro. Gotta do a background license check on them first. You do. You do. All right. I'm gonna give you an example. I got a friend. He's out in North Carolina, right? He been trucking since '07. He got long money from trucking. So when people say no money into it, he got long money, and he got into it at a time where it wasn't popular, and he prospered, right? So he hired a driver, and the driver was doing great for about a year. The driver ended up getting into a relationship, and the driver had the person he was with in the relationship drive one day, and the guy had the CDLs, but the guy had an accident, right? The guy had an accident in which he flipped the truck, and my friend who was the owner had to pay out the accident from pocket, pay that with his pocket. When they in the truck with you, whose insurance is covering them? The insurance that's covering them, and insurance normally asks this. When they're in the truck, the insurance that covers them is the auto liability. The bodily injury portion covers them. Bodily injury portion covers all third parties. So except the driver. So you can't willingly crash a truck and claim a bodily injury claim and say, hey, I got to sue your insurance because my body hurts, because you're responsible. So it goes, if you get in an accident, the person who got hit, perhaps the person who you're riding with, any third party involved, you got property damage, all that, is involved in that combined single limit portion. So yeah, that's a little history for you guys. Uh, uh, but yeah, man. So yeah, yes. I mean, some companies, yeah, I was leased on. So on TikTok, I'm talking to people on TikTok. I got a buddy named Sam. He's driving into results on Instagram. Go follow him. He says, okay, so some companies won't allow riders. Yeah, for sure. For that, it's a liability reason. It's a liability 100%. But the thing about it is, dude, when I was in my truck, I always had my family with me. I got stories, dude. Thank God we didn't get to no situation, no accident. I was very careful, but it's almost custom when you're on the road for a while, bro, to have somebody with you. I mean, like that's the gist to it. Like it's kind of hard to be on the road if you got a family and your family not with you. So we were in Baltimore, we were in Virginia, we were in Alabama, late night down south. I remember one time. Hey, I remember one time we had went to this farm in Virginia and with my wife. I took a load. My first time leased onto a company, my first truck, and I took a load to this. It was somewhere in rural Virginia. I can't remember exactly where, but we go to this. It's in the middle of nowhere, dude. When people say in the middle of nowhere, it literally means you just drive and drive, and then there's a road you turn on, and the road is like through bushes, or the roads through, off the off beaten path, right? So we go down this road. Cool. Me and I got my wife and my two children in the truck. We go down the road, and it opens up into this immaculate, humongous farm, the most luxury farm. It was like a movie. It was like a, and I wish he was here to verify me this with me because it was late night. It had to be like 11 o'clock at night, bro. It's late. So we get there, we go through this these woods, and it's in my semi. We go through these woods, and it's just opened up to maybe like 30 acres. It's just cleaned out, clear. The grass is clean at night. Lights out. They got a long fence, and we back into this barn. The barn had old. The barn had a museum a part of it. And the museum had old tractors in it, right? Like the person, yeah, the things you see driving a truck. The person who owned the farm was like kin to John Deere, so he had like a museum of tractors in it. I'm like, yo, and they had like a bar, and they're out there drinking at night and just living life. I'm like, this is crazy. The kind of wealth we have in this country is absolutely crazy, man. You know, but those are the things you see while trucking. Those are the things. I backed. I back. I didn't even have to back in. I came around back. I put around back by the museum, and we're talking about. When I say museum, I'm talking about a building that's probably big as a warehouse. It was huge, and it's on somebody's personal property. And they got their family walking around there drinking. They had like a little bar area in the back. You know, it's wide open. They just got an open bar because their family there, right? So I ended up doing the delivery. I think they tipped me something, and I was on my way. But I just remember leaving there like, yo, what did I experience? You know, my wife the whole time she was sleeping in the truck. I'm like, man, and it was just only me to can really. I think maybe she's in the museum because it was glass. It was on someone's house. It was on somebody's land. So I'm like, man, like I didn't even know that kind of money exists. You hear about it, and to see it up close. And I'm not from an impoverished area. Like I'm in Atlanta, we got money here, So I've seen nice things. I've been in New York, I've been in California, I've been overseas. But I didn't think in that rural town in the middle of Humboldt, Virginia, I was gonna turn off and see one of the most immaculate things I've seen in my life. Right? So, you know, those are the caveats to truck driving. It really is. Those are the caveats. Those are the benefits we get, man. I wouldn't trade that for nothing, man. I wouldn't teeter with that, So when a lot of guys come to me and they're like, "Hey, man, is it worth sticking in right now? Is the economy gonna switch? Should I sell my MC number? Because that's the thing, right? It's a lot of guys selling MC numbers. Okay, I see you. I'm not gonna hate the game, right? But that's a crackdown that's gonna happen soon. It's going to be more federally attached to you to where you can't just sell it because it to me it's a liability clause. Yeah, it's money, money, money. Yeah, it's a liability clause, man. You can't just be. I'm not mad at nobody selling MC numbers because if you've been in the game 3 4 years and you want to lead the game, you want to sell your MC number for 20 30 grand. I'm not mad at you. I get it. I totally get it, man. Totally get selling my MC number for 20 30 grand. But my thing about it is, it's a lot of people it's a lot of foreigners that are taking advantage of that. And I know this to be true. I know this to be true. And I wonder, it's on these social media sites. I'm not saying nothing that people can't find. I mean, you can go on Facebook and look it up. It's they got groups doing it. Like it's not illegal. I mean, it's not like they're taking the groups down, right? I think it is illegal, but they're not destroying the groups. So, but I mean, that is a way to get in the game if you been sitting on the sidelines and you got an extra 10, 15 grand, and you want to say, you know what? That. Hold on. One of my guys is calling me. Hold on. Hey, brother.
What's up, Lante? Lante, have you ever heard anybody that do sales? What do you call them? Have you ever experienced anybody that doing non-emergency what it is? Patient transport.
Yeah, I have. So are
And
they?
how them insurance rates is?
A medical transport is it just classified. You said non-emergency, right?
Non-emergency, yeah, like they just gonna be taking like patients to their doctor's appointments and stuff. Let me call it on a lot. Yeah, they be taking patients to their doctor's appointments and stuff. Call it back there.
It depends. So it depends on a couple things. So it depends on one thing. It depends on like are people? It depends on a few things. Like are people going to be paying you? Are people going to be scheduled? Are people going to actually
I think what you must have moved through a company. Say you can move through a broker. It gonna be like a broker, yeah, a broker or a company. Like still gonna be like kind of broker. I know. Yeah, probably a broker. Yeah.
how many people going to be in the
It gonna be a 15-passenger van, but I don't know if 15 people be on there at one time all the time. It's gonna be a 15-passenger van.
So with that, you're gonna need a DOT number. You know that, right?
Yeah. You gonna get an authority and everything. You gonna get an authority like MC number and a DOT number. Go get all that.
Okay. Got to have an MC. Because you are a certain capacity that requires a DOT number. I think in Georgia, anything less than 8 needs a DOT number. But
Yeah.
you only need listen. You only need a certain amount. You probably need about 500,000. But you're not gonna get no business unless you get 1 million.
Yeah. It gonna be best to get that million, but you gotta have what that thing was. What all the other insurance was you had said? What about
You need general liability, absolutely.
general liability and
You're gonna need med pay because if anybody,
medical general liability, work compensation.
yeah, workers comp, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, but with anything, and with those specific quotes like that, I always feel like it's best to go to Progressive because Progressive is more universal with those kind of quotes. You don't really go to like the side markets until you got some skin in the game. Okay.
Yeah. That right. That would see like this is something me and my girl gonna have planned for the first time. We'll go get like a 15,000 fan and try to get into that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good. I got a guy who I just insured. He's a Hispanic guy and he paid for his policy all in cash, bro. And he did he done something similar to like a limousine service. And what he's doing is he's just transporting people. He's getting.
Like, do you know people that actually doing what we talking about doing that probably that can help us out? Like give us information, help us out. Try like when it's time to get to going, like they can give us like good valuable information.
Bro, I'm the trucking insurance expert, bro. I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I know somebody who doing it personally though.
Look, we gonna buy this van. We ain't trying to be sitting on it for the whole year before we put it to work.
Nah, I got somebody who I'm gonna plug you in with, and then she gonna show you the right way.
Okay.
Yeah, she good people.
Like I said, I'm still gonna get that insurance. I just been getting all my money and shit together. They paying $22.90 and stuff. Is she in Georgia, Lante?
She in Georgia. Yep, she in Georgia.
Yeah. But yeah, we just trying to network. We just trying to.
Yeah, bro. We gonna talk, man. I'm definitely gonna send you to her because I talk to her every day, so it ain't no.
Alright,
yeah.
Okay, that's a bit. Well, I'll just hit you up tomorrow sometime for the week. We get everything situated.
For sure, bro. No smoke.
I don't mind you about the trucking insurance, but yeah.
Okay. All right, my brother. Peace out. Told you guys I do this stuff in real time. And this is 7:30 at night, 7:40 at night. I'm still answering questions. Like I'm the trucking insurance expert. I do this all day, every day, and it consumes me. All right, it's not something but it's just part of who I am, right? So, this is what I do. But that's one of my clients. He's about to become a client. You see that when you become a client, I also offer mentor service. I got, I don't really mentor people outside of this because this consumes so much of me. So, I'm gonna show you the right way to do it. It's just who I am, and it's not like I failed. I had a very lucrative contract, and I moved on from my contract. Well, they moved on from me, and I just said I don't want to continue. So when we have questions, I want questions, or you have a question that need to be answered, and we do business together. I just want to understand we're standing on fair ground. We're standing on fair ground because I had a trucking insurance company, right? I did it at a high level, It's nothing to brag about once you do it at a high level. It's just something that's a part of it, right? So, man, shouts out to my motherfucking buddy, my brother, CDL motherfucking Shorty, everybody, man. Shouts out to CDL Shorty, man. Shouts out to CDL Shorty, baby. Yeah, man. Drop some questions in the chat, guys. We just was on live and we interviewed a guy. Well, not interviewed. One of my guys called in. We're gonna do some business this week. I got him. He's a new venture. He's in Georgia. Um, he's about to make a down payment this week, and his monthly payment is gonna be $13.50 a month for a new venture in Georgia. $13.50. So his equivalent cost was again like 1678, 1650, 1600, which ain't bad. But I said, bro, I can get it cheaper. So I got him 1350 for he's a new guy. So you in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, not Texas yet. I'm coming for Texas though. Coming for Texas. I got some good markets in Texas. I got some great markets in Texas. Oh my God. They're on fire. Texas and New York. I have some good markets in New York now for new ventures, for non-CDL box trucks, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Trucking insurance expert, man. It's what we do. But back to the story time. So a lot of times, bro, when I was on the road, like, and I had my family with me, I was really in the Northeast. I was in like Baltimore a lot. I was in like obviously Virginia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. I don't really like going to those places to drive. They're horrible places to drive, and they got horrible truck parking. And that's my thing. Like they gave all this money for truck parking to Florida. I get Florida needed, but damn, bro, what about Baltimore? What about the not Virginia pretty good, but Baltimore. I think now parts of Virginia is horrible. Parts of Virginia is fucking horrible, dude. That's just part of the Virginia makeup, right? But I think for the most part, when I look at like truck parking, I always tend to think about like Florida, probably one of the states that need it least. I mean, because I be in and out of Florida. I get in and I go out. I don't just go to Florida. I guess you need overnight parking, but it wasn't that bad, when I was going back and forth to Florida, bro. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't horrible. It was bad, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. I mean, I just think the money can be allocated to better sources. This is what I think. But yeah, man, it's nice to see when I talk to guys. I wish I could do live during the daytime so I can actually record some of my calls, but my calls get crazy. My calls most definitely get crazy. I get all kind of questions and concerns, and people try to ask me if they can do stuff legally, and I gotta tell them, no, bro, that's not legal. Um, why would you do that? um, so many different situations and patterns that I'm just trying to like help people out that I can't necessarily put online. But these are always cool. I'm definitely gonna come on here more. I've been going to bed slightly early and going to the gym slightly early. So earlier. So I'm probably by the end of guys. This was nice. And I'm gonna be over here tomorrow. Yeah, and I might be over here tomorrow morning. I gotta start doing these more. I miss you guys. I've been getting a lot of DMs, questions, people in the chat, people DMing me talking about they need truck insurance. That's always coming. Since always somebody needs some trucking insurance. Somebody got a question. Um, I got good markets in North Carolina. I got markets for hot shot in North Carolina. I got markets for non-CDL box trucks in North Carolina. I got markets for CDL box trucks in North Carolina. I got markets for non-CDL and CDL box trucks in Georgia. I got markets for non-CDL and CDL box trucks and cargo vans in New York. Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Um, some good markets in Texas. And I gotta keep saying these things because I want you guys to know when I clip this up that what we have available for y'all. But so y'all don't just have to go through the standard. "Oh, I need some trucking insurance, man. I got good markets in Maryland. I'm working on a guy in Maryland right now. I got one of my guys, right? I'm gonna do a video about this. He's in where he's at. I got a guy in Texas. He needs $2 million worth of insurance. I got him at $2 million worth of insurance. That means he needs double the auto liability. I got him at $2 million worth of trucking insurance on the auto liability side. Plus he got general liability. Plus he got cargo. Plus he got about $100K of physical damage. And I got him everything for $2,000 a month. A nice package. He has double the amount for what you guys normally pay, right? Okay, got him a great package. So we're gonna end on that one. It's been nice.
Now tuned into the motherfucking greatest.
I appreciate you guys.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
And we're gonna end this with the song. Wow. And my peoples, we are out of here. Be blessed. Love God. Love life. And don't give up on God because he ain't gonna give up on you. Peace.